Duterte controls Davao Death Squad-style drug war through crony cops Leonardo and Garma. Nakilala mo si SPO4 Art Las Cañas before naging presidente si Mayor Duterte.
Opo, na-meet ko lang po.
Okay. Ito na naman. Tinatanungan. Please answer me directly. Colonel, please.
Opo, Mr. Chair.
Do you know CO3 Jake Carabe? Now you know Jake Carabe, but you don't know Colonel Padilla, CO3 Harabe. Alam ko na po yung kwento.
Ba't hindi ka nag-report sa kanya?
Your Honor, please.
Alam mo, Inspector Poro, mag-isip-isip ka muna, ha? Bago ka sumagot, ha?
Sir,
Kasi,
pwede-
Mr. Chairman, ako, tingin ko, itong taong to may kinalaman. At dahil hindi na nga ma-implement, at ayaw nang implement ni Colonel Padilla, ayaw na implement ni Colonel Padilla, kaya nga niya pinatagal. Ito ang taong itong kinontak para mag-implement doon sa loob. So,
Next to interpolate is Congressman Key Flores. You are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I just have a few questions for Commissioner Leonardo, Mr. Chair.
Please proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Commissioner Leonardo, I was absent in the first two hearings, and in one of those hearings, you were already invited here to this committee. Tama ba?
Tama po, Mr. Chair.
Yeah, and before coming over, nagbasa muna ako. I was looking for materials about you, and one of which na nakita ko is an article in 2017. No? It's an online article, and the title is Duterte controls Davao Death Squad-style drug war through crony cops Leonardo and Garma. Yan po yung nabasa ko na article. And what can you say about that article, Commissioner Leonardo?
Hindi ko po nabasa, Mr.
Hindi mo
Chair.
nabasa.
Hindi po alam.
Well, anyway, the article is based on the complaint filed before the ICC, naming you as one of the respondents. Na kayo raw po ang nag-implement ng DDS style na drug war ng former President Duterte. What can you say about that, Commissioner Leonardo?
Hindi po totoo yun, Mr. Chair.
Hindi totoo. So, hindi totoo na DDS style ang pagdadala ng drug war, or yung activities nyo against in the drug war is related to DDS style na pag-implement?
Hindi po.
Wala kang kinalaman sa drug war?
Wala po.
Wala.
Yung pong sa financial investigation lang.
Sa financial investigation.
As a regional chief, as a member of CIDG, Mr. Chair.
Okay. Now, would you consider the tag as heading the drug war in the DDS style offensive for you as a police officer that time? Sa tingin mo bang insulto yun na sabihin na DDS style yung ginagawa for the drug war?
Sa tingin ko po, mali po yun. Kasi yung mga polis, nagtatrabaho lang po noon. Kung same lang po noong 2015, 2014, 2012, 2011. Tatrabaho na po ako noon. Natatanda ko, marami rin po kami mga trabaho.
Kasi yung DDS style ng drug war na sinasabi nila is similar to or identical with na yung sinasabing claims na extrajudicial killings. Tama po ba? Associated siya. DDS, EJK, parang ganon. Ang one and the same ang term.
Narinig ko po ganun ang
Ganon,
perception
di ba?
nila, Mr. Chair.
So, kilala mo ba si Edgar Matubato, Commissioner Leonardo?
Personally, hindi po.
But you've heard of him.
Nakita ko po sa TV.
Nakita mo
Napanood
sa
ko po.
TV that he confessed that he was one of the gunmans for DDS. Tama ko?
Yeah, napanood ko po.
Napanood mo.
Sinasabi po niya yun.
And siya din ang nagsabi na kayo daw ni Garma yung nagma-micromanage on how the DDS or the drug war is to be conducted.
Hindi po totoo yun, Mr. Chair.
Hindi totoo. So, hindi naman totoo na sinasabi ng ibang tao na because of your management style of how the drug war was conducted, you are close to the former President Rodrigo Roa Duterte. Tama po?
Actually, lahat naman po ng police officers Davao City, ay close po kay, ano. Pag nasayan ka po ng Davao City, kasali po kayo sa mga meeting with the former Mayor Rodrigo Roa Duterte.
Because Duterte was also very active when it comes to the handling of the police officers in Davao City as mayor. Di ba? Tama po?
Tama po, Mr.
Yeah.
Pati po armed forces kasama
Pati
po
armed
namin
forces.
during
In your
mga
meetings, di
po.
ba? So, sabay mga AFP, PNP. Kaya malapit siya with these people.
Opo, Mr. Chair.
Okay. So sa dami ng officers sa Davao City, ilan yung na-appoint as undersecretary? Ilan din?
Marami po.
Marami din.
Bago po kami, marami po eh. Marami po. Hindi ko lang po
Sobra 10 ba? More than 5?
I'm not sure of the number, Mr. Chen. Pero meron lang po akong mga ilan na alam na naging USEC.
Okay, but you're one of those. Tama mo?
Yes, I'm one of
Yes,
those,
you're
Mr.
one of the lucky few officers close to Duterte who was appointed as an undersecretary of a department.
Chen. Opo, Mr. Chen.
Yes. Now, do you know SPO4 Arthur Las Cañas?
Opo, kilala ko po siya, Mr. Chen.
Kilala mo?
Police po sa Davao, Mr. Chen.
Yes. So you knew him before the president became, the mayor became president.
Pakiulit po, Mr. Chen.
Nakilala mo si SPO4 Art Las Cañas before naging presidente si Mayor Duterte.
Opo, Mr. Chen.
Okay. Now, I also lived in Davao, no? Pero did Art Las Cañas have the reputation of being close to Duterte also?
I think so, Mr. Chen.
You think so or you know so? Alam
I
ng
think
lahat
so,
ng mga
hindi-
pulis dun eh, na
Naririnig ko lang po, Mr. Chen.
naririnig mo
Apo.
rin. How about you, Colonel Garma? Tanong lang, no? Yeah, side question lang to sa iyo. Do you know Art Las Cañas?
Yes, Your Honor.
And do you know also his reputation as being close to the president before the president became president while he was still mayor of Davao City?
I'm not very familiar kung close sila or what.
You're not. So you're
Mr.
not
Chair.
familiar with the heinous crime section unit?
I am familiar, Mr. Chair.
And who was heading that unit?
I cannot recall anymore, Mr. Chair. That was
Art Las Cañas
long
wasn't
time
part
ago.
of that?
I'm not sure,
You're
Mr.
not sure?
Chair.
But you were in Davao during that time, correct?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Okay. Leonardo. So Art Las Cañas also mentioned na ito nga, yung drug war was conducted in a very similar way dun sa sabi nilang DDS at the time when the mayor was still mayor of Davao City. Yun ang sinasabi niya in his interviews and in his testimony before the Senate before. Narinig niyo pa ba?
Naririnig po sinasabi niya, Mr. Chair.
Na yung mga nasa lista daw ay either eliminated or killed or forever disappears. Na nag-testify siyang parang ganon. Narinig niyo po ba?
Narinig po na sinasabi niya, Mr. Chair.
Ni Art Las Cañas. Sa tingin niyo po, in your personal opinion, may involvement ba si Art Las Cañas sa DDS na sinasabi niya?
Hindi ko po alam, Mr. Chair.
Okay, now as
Narinig ko lang po
CIDG,
sinabi niya.
as CIDG chief na region, sa Region 11, can you say for a fact na walang DDS na grupo na nag-ooperate in Davao City?
During my time, 2016, wala po akong na...
Wala. How about prior to that?
witness.
Have you heard na merong ganun?
Meron lang ako naririnig kasi may investigation po nung mga previous years po prior to 2016, Mr. Chair.
Now, yung position mo as USEC sa DNR, is it may security of tenure ba yun?
Wala po, Mr. Coterminous.
So, coterminous ka.
Hindi po siya plantilyado, Mr. Chair.
Do you think that's why you were appointed sa Napolcom because it is a more secured position? Because it's a fixed term position?
Possibly, Mr. Chair.
Possibly. Now, how would you react to the statement ba na you are a police officer who has been accused. In fact, may mga articles nga na you were the one running the DDS-style drug war, and yet you end up being appointed as Commissioner of the National Police Commission. What would be your reaction to that statement? Meaning, pulis ka na not free from issues on extrajudicial killings, pulis ka na not free from allegations of involvement in the killings that took place against drug personalities or something like that, no? In fact, I heard na you were the one responsible for making the narco list. Yun ang nabalitaan ko eh. So, these are issues, I'm sure you will deny that, no? Pero these are issues that have been hounding you. Yet you were appointed as Commissioner for Napolcom. Don't you find that odd? Don't you find that strange? Commissioner Leonardo?
Hindi naman po, Mr. Chair. Qualified naman po ako bilang Napolcom Commissioner, Mr. Chair.
Qualified, as you say, but is it free from insinuations of wrongdoing as a police officer?
Again po, Mr. Chair. Hindi po
Sabi ko,
na-gets.
qualified ka nga siguro, but are you free from insinuations of wrongdoings as a police officer? Based on the article and yung mga naririnig na mga kwento-kwento about your participation or your role?
Mga insinuation po nila, mga opinion po nila yan, Mr. Chair. Wala po akong masasabi tungkol doon.
But no case was filed against you naman
Wala po.
in relation to the insinuations?
Wala naman
Wala
po,
naman.
Mr. Chair.
Okay. Now, Colonel Garma, you were appointed as OIC Cebu Police Chief in the year 2018 na po ba?
Yes, Your Honor.
2018. Now, prior to your stint as OIC Police Chief in Cebu City, who was then the Police Chief of Cebu City?
Colonel Doria, Mr. Chair.
Colonel Doria.
Ay, Your Honor.
Now, there are allegations kasi that when you took over as Police Chief of Davao City, doon umakyat yung patayan sa Cebu City in relation to the drug war. What can you say to that?
Mr. Chair, during my stint, I intensified police operation po. 24/7 po ang patrol ko in those area na identified na drug den.
Okay.
So, since po na more aggressive po yung patrol, marami po kaming nahuhuli at na-aaresto po
At
na involved sa drugs po.
How about the deaths
And-
po? My question is related to the deaths that occurred.
I cannot recall, Mr. Chair, kung may mga deaths during police operation, but definitely I'm sure kung mayroon pong mga ganun sitwasyon ay nasunod lang po yung rules of engagement
Okay,
na
question.
self-defense po.
The drug war started in the year 2016. Tama po ba? 2016, when President
Yes,
Duterte took over.
yes, Your Honor.
So there was a year and a half siguro na iba pa yung Chief of Police sa Cebu when the drug war started. Before you took over, 2018 ka na eh.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. So now, if we are to compare the number of deaths sa Chief of Police na pinalitan mo at saka sa term mo, who do you think had more deaths? You or yung pinalitan mo?
Mr. Chair, during my time,
It's a categorical question naman. Sino mas maraming patay?
Mr. Chair, it depends sa performance ng city director. If I
I'm
want,
just asking you po,
I cannot...
ilan ang namatay? Saan mas marami namatay?
I-
In your term, let me
Yeah,
finish
yes,
my question po. Was it during your term as the Chief of Police of Cebu City, or was it during the other guy whom you replaced?
I cannot answer it, Mr. Chair, because I don't have the statistics.
Okay. So if we've secured the statistics and show it to you, na sa panahon mo, sobrang daming namatay sa Cebu. That's one of the reasons why Mayor Tommy Osmeña was complaining about you. How would you react to that?
I think Mayor Osmeña is just being personal to me, Mr. Chair.
Being personal. Mr. Chair, I think it's important, Mr. Chair, that we also invite the former Mayor Tommy Osmeña to testify before this committee as far as Colonel Garma is concerned, Mr. Chair. I so move, Mr. Chair.
There's a motion to invite former Mayor Tommy Osmeña
Yes,
in the
Mr.
next
Chair.
hearing of the Quad. Duly seconded. Hearing no objection, the motion is carried. Comsec, please extend the invitation to the former mayor of Cebu City, Mayor Tommy Osmeña.
Thank you, Mr. For my last question, Mr. Chair, I'm just gonna
Please proceed.
tie something up. Yung mga testimonies ng mga nandito, especially with Colonel Padilla and Colonel Garma, they both said that at one point in time, Colonel Padilla was in the office of Leonardo, and Colonel Garma confirmed that she saw Colonel Padilla in the office of Commissioner Leonardo. Yet, Commissioner Leonardo still denies having had Colonel Padilla in your office and that you've never met Colonel Padilla before. Tama po ba?
Tama po, Mr. Chair.
So now, how would it be na one person says that I was there, another person, unrelated whatsoever to Colonel Padilla, confirms the presence of that guy and her presence also in that office, and then all of a sudden you say, that did not happen. So are you saying po that Colonel Padilla and Colonel Garma are both lying even if they are not really helping each other out as far as to their presence in your office, Commissioner Leonardo?
Mr. Chair, sa natatandaan ko po, wala po.
Sa natatandaan mo lang. So you never recall having them both there.
Hindi po, wala po akong maalala ganun po, Mr.
And even if Colonel Padilla under oath executes an affidavit that I was there, Colonel Garma under oath in her testimony now says that she saw Padilla there. You still deny it? Or just not remember it?
Baka po nakita niya si Padilla sa office ko, Mr. Chair. Hindi ko po wala.
But you don't know Colonel Padilla personally.
Hindi po.
You've never met him other than in this committee hearings.
Nakita ko po siya nung unang hearing.
Sa hearing na.
Magkatabi po kami.
But never in Davao, never in any other
Never
place.
po, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Congressman Flores. Yes, Congressman Paduano.
Hindi, just interjection, Mr. Chair, with regards to the query made by Congressman Kit Flores to Colonel Leonardo. Colonel Leonardo, okay, ano po? So, again, you deny that you know Colonel Padilla.
Opo, na-meet ko lang po.
Okay. Ito na naman. Tinatanong, please answer me directly. Colonel, please.
Opo, Mr. Chair.
Do you know CO3 Jake Carabe? Oh, yan na naman. Hindi mo na matandaan.
Naalala ko po.
Oh, kilala mo?
Kilala ko po. Member po siya ng club namin.
Oh. Member ng
Member po ng club ng...
Colonel Padilla, do you know CO3 Jake Carabe?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
Mr. Chair.
Now you know Jake Harabe, but you don't know Colonel Padilla, CO3 Harabe. Alam ko na po yung kwento, Colonel. Kaya, better cooperate. Oh, now you're telling this committee that you know Jake Harabe because of the club, but you never know personally Superintendent Padilla. Anyway, Mr. Chairman, as for now, doon lang po muna. Let us see in the next hearing.
Okay, thank you, Congressman Paduano. The next to interpolate is Congressman Rog Gutierrez. You are recognized.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, karami ng katanungan ko po ay natanong na, but I still have a few siguro to clarify, and I won't belabor any of the points previously raised. I'd like to direct my questions po to Commissioner Leonardo, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, alam ko po siguro na banggit niyo na rin po na isagot niyo yung ibang mga katanungan dito, pero just to really test the witness and to really, see how consistent yung narrative is po. Can you relate to us po yung history of your career from the PNPA up to this incident when you were CIDG for the region?
From the PNP, Mr. Chair, upon graduation, we were assigned at Special Action Force to undergo training. And then, 1998, Mr. Chair, I was assigned in November of 1998, if I'm not mistaken, Mr. Chair. I was assigned in Compostela Valley Province, Mr. Chair. And then I stayed there for 3 years, and after 2 years, I was reassigned back to Camp Crame CIDG for a short period, Mr. Chair. And then I was reassigned to CIDG 11, 2001, Mr. Chair. And then I've been transferred from different region like ARMM, Region 10, and then back to Manila for a short period again, and then back again to Davao in 2008, Mr. Chair. Then on 2014 to 2015, Mr. Chair, if I'm not mistaken, I was reassigned back to NCRPO. And then in Manila, Mr. Chair. And then July of 2016, I was reassigned back to Region 11 CIDG, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So for to clarify po, no, you've been na-destino po kayo sa Davao, Region 11, around 3 times, 3 separate periods. You have the CIDG 11 in 2001, and you were assigned in Region 11 in 2008, and then back to Region 11 in 2016. Tama po ba?
Opo, Mr. Tama po.
Aggregate, how many years po kayo sa Davao?
Sa Davao po, since 1998, kasi pabalik-balik po. More or less, nasa mga more than 10 years po. Tansya ko lang po yun.
More than 10 years po. Of course, you were not regional director yet then. I assume this is different positions, but most of the time, CIDG po talaga. Tama po ba?
Mostly CIDG po ang pinakamahaba sa career ko as a PNP member, Mr. Chair.
Pasensya na po for the clarification. Di po ako kasi familiar with the organization of the PNP. Kapag po kayo ay CIDG, I understand merong region and meron rin po sa city. Were you assigned to the city for some time?
Yes po, Mr. Chair.
Anong
Davao
period
City.
po? Davao City mismo. Ito po ba yung sinasabi po ninyo na 2008 or yung 2001?
2001, hindi po ako chief, pero sa region po ng CIDG. Pero located in Davao City rin po, yes.
Iba yung kampo po nung CID, iba yung location ng CIDG region, tapos yung CIDG city, or within the same campo ba?
Magkalapit lang po.
Magkalapit.
Almost, magkalapit lang po.
So 2001 sa region po kayo na-assign. Yung 2008 po, is this in the city or sa region?
2008, city po.
City naman po.
City.
No? And of course, yung 2016, regional head na po ito.
Regional
Regional head. Thank you. But in all these cases, Mr. Chair, the office is within Davao City po talaga. So you'd say, parang native ka na rin po ng Davao. Is that safe to assume?
I reside po in Davao, Mr. Chair.
Tubong Davao po talaga kayo, Mr. Chair.
Tondo, Manila po. But upon graduation, dun po ako nakapag-asawa, dun na rin po ako nag-settle, Mr. Chair.
So upon graduation.
Upon graduation.
So that would be 1998, correct po, Mr. Chair?
Opo, Mr. Chair.
So from 1998 up to now, you hold residence in Davao. Tama po ba?
Sa Davao, Tagum po muna eh. Natira po muna ako sa Tagum City. And then,
Which is not far, Mr. Chair.
2000, yeah po. Province po ng Davao Region.
So 1998 up until now, Tagum area, Davao area. So sa Davao area na po talaga.
Davao po ako nakatira.
Davao talaga.
Up to now, Mr. Chair.
Tubong Tondo. So from 1998 to now, although you were assigned in Davao, close to home, since doon na po yung residence niyo, from 2011, 2001, 2008, 2016, pabalik-balik po kayo sa Davao. When you were assigned in ARM, assigned in Region 10,
Opo.
when you were assigned in Krami, you would go
Yes
back
po,
to
Mr.
Davao.
Chair.
Would you know, Mr. Chair, kung bakit po kayo na-assign sa Davao? Is this something like yung nabanggit ni Colonel Garma na you have 3 choices of regions or upon whose selection this is?
Doon pa, pinapili po kami ng mga region din. Ganun din po ang nangyari sa akin. Luckily, napunta po ako, Region 11, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, curious lang po ako sa kultura ng PNPA. I understand very close-knit group po kayo. And there's a term po, no? Ano yung tawag po ninyo as a group? Mista po ba yun? Or
Bok po, sa karamihan po sa amin, Bok po ang tawagan po namin.
Wala
Mr.
po.
Chair.
Is there a name? I understand na as a collective group, Lakan, something like that? Tama po?
Lakan, kasi po parang pinag-isa po yun. Kasi may yung pong gender, equality. So, it was decided that we address each other Lakan po. Pero Bok pa rin po, pagka magkakakilala. It's more practicable para sa amin yung Bok, Mr. Chair.
Okay, thank you. So, BOC naman. So, generally close po ang mga cadet ng PNPA. In a batch, for example, gaano karami po kayo in 1998?
Ako po kasi original 1996, nakagraduate po ako 1998.
Bakit
So,
po?
meron po akong lacking requirements po during that time.
So, for
For
originally
98 po, I think more than 300 po kami nung gumraduate.
300 po. And maybe ask Colonel Garma for 97?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Ilan po kayo na batchmates?
Pumasok po kami, umabot po kami ng more than 350. Then we graduated mga 176, I think, Your Honor.
So, very elite few lang po, no? PNPA. Usually, marami na po siguro yung 300. And in 1997, konting nga pala po, 176. And going up and down, usually ang maabutan nyo is how many years of batches po? 4 years up, 3 years up, 3 years down. Would that be a fair statement?
Nung time po namin, ang abutan po namin, yung senior sa amin at saka yung junior sa amin. Yung halimbawa po, sa case namin, ako po 96, ang inabutan ko po yung 97. Tapos yung 95 naman po yung upper class namin.
So, so usually just 1 year up, 1 year down. Yun yung mga kahalubilo po ninyo sa PNPA.
Yes po, nung time po kasi namin ay 2 years pa lang po.
2 years po. So in that case, we're looking at most 3 batches at a time na at least magkasama. And nagkaabutan po kayo ni Colonel Garma. I see. I mean, the point was belabored na magkakilala naman po kayo, magkaibigan, and understandably as batchmates in the PNPA. Pero may I ask, during your stint po, let's be specific, yung nangyari po itong incident in 2016, ilan po kayong batch 97-98 na-assign sa Davao?
If I remembered it correctly, Mr. Che, parang sa 98, parang 10 po. More or less 10 po.
Mga 10 lang po. And yung sa 97?
Mr. Chair, noong 2016, before my schooling, I think parang 4 lang ata kami, Mr. Chair. Yes.
So yung magkakaabutan from PNPA to be assigned in a certain area, sobrang slim po yung chances nun, no? Kasi from 300, konti na lang po kayo as a batch. At most 300, 170. And of course, assigned to the different regions. Of course, it makes sense na kung with the officership being distributed, konti lang po yun. Mabibilang sa yung dalawang kamay kung sino po yung mga kasama nyo na classmate in the area at any given time.
Yes, Your Honor.
So, would that just be coincidence po siguro in the way that the allegations have fallen upon? I'll ask po si Colonel Leonardo. Sa opinion niya po, ano po yung opinion sa mga paratang na nandun po sa sinumpang salaysay ni, I believe yung sa iyo po, nabanggit po kayo ni Mr. Tan. How do you react to that? You deny it outright po, no?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Would you have any idea po kaya, Mr. Chair, kung how would he even know your name? Or bakit kayo pa, of all the people in Davao, kayo pa po yung naituro ni Mr. Tan?
I have no idea, Mr. Chair, kung bakit binabanggit niya yung pangalan ko, Mr. Chair.
And together with Colonel Leonardo, si Mr. Tan also mentioned in his affidavit, paragraphs 3, 16, 17, also pointed to Colonel Garma. Colonel Garma, may I ask you po, would you have any idea bakit kayo po yung tinuturo ni Mr. Tan?
Hindi ko rin po alam, Mr. Chair.
So, sa affidavit po ni Mr. Tan, nakachamba po siya ng 2 PNPA na batch 97-98 na nagsama sa Davao. coincidentally lang po.
Mr. Chair, I do not know his intention, Mr. Chair.
Well, I think it's not just si Mr. Tan po, no? Kahit si, well, of course, si Mr. Fortaleza, hindi na po yung chamba. For him to mention you, Colonel Garma, from paragraphs 2 to 8, syempre kilala po kayo. Kayo po ay classmates, no? So, I don't think there's any doubt. As to the motives of Mr. Fortaleza, that's yet for us to decide. But for Mr. Padilla po, who has nothing to do exactly with the PNP structure, he's mentioned you multiple times from paragraphs 5 to 10. And siguro naman po ito hindi chamba because you admitted to, although you don't admit to the facts in his sinumpang salaysay, you admit to knowing him, so it's not a coincidence po naman siguro. Would that be a fair statement, Colonel Garma?
It's not a fair statement, Mr. Chair, Your Honor.
Can you explain po?
You know, he lied on the first hearing. The second hearing, because he was detained, might be he realized that sa kanya lahat ang siyang may kasalanan. He need a fall guy. And it's easy to just blend on the facts presented during the first hearing. And it's easy to say he feared his life, Mr. Chair.
In the same way that he said he feared his life because of you.
Hindi po ako nakakatakot, Mr. Chair. Perception lang nila yun, pero hindi po ako nakakatakot.
Well, I'll take your statement as it is po. And I agree. Tama rin naman po. But that's why we're here. We take our evidences together and we assess them as a committee. Yet, you can only talk about the statement of Mr. Padilla. But how do we account for the statements of Mr. Tan, Mr. Andy, that would pin you? How do we take into consideration the statement of Mr. Las Cañas that has pinned both of you, coincidentally, to Lacan's box? In Davao, coincidentally natagpo. And how do we now explain the coincidence also that you both face cases with the ICC? That's not a question, sorry. I'm just wondering here po, no? Because, like we said po, the basis for our evidence here, it's a he said, she said thing. But there are a lot of hymns saying that she did it. And there's only her saying that she did not. In the case of Mr. Leonard, of course, it's also saying that he did not. I think that's just something for us to consider moving forward. We're not saying this with finality, pero again, as with the seems to be the theme of this committee hearing, maraming coincidences abound. And I think I would have more questions, but I'll reserve it for a future time. Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. Thank you, Ms. Garma. Thank you, Commissioner Leonard.
Thank you, Congressman Gutierrez. Before we call the next interpolator, meron lang akong interjection may tanong lang ako kay Colonel Leonardo. Colonel Leonardo, anong class mo sa PNPA?
Class 96 po originally, but I graduated 98 na po, Mr. Chair.
98. And what was the reason why you graduated in 1998?
Nagkaroon po ako ng kaso, Mr. Chair.
May we know ano yung case?
Na-implicate po ako sa isang murder case.
Murder case. But you were still a student. Nasa academy ka pa noon.
Opo, Mr. Chair.
So when you were in the academy, meron nang na-implicate ka na sa isang murder case.
Yes po, Mr. Chair.
Okay. So that's why na-turn back ka and then you graduated 1998.
Hindi po ako na-turn back actually, Mr. Chair. Sinatisfy ko lang po nung maklear po yung aking pangalan. August 1997 na po kasi yon. So, kaya pinagraduate na po ako ng 98 finally, Mr. Chair.
So na-delay lang, na-delay lang. But you were still inside the academy.
During the time I was clearing my name, sir, wala po. No? Nasa ano po.
Okay.
Nasa labas po ako, Mr. Chair.
Now, one more question. Kasi binabasa ko yung mga affidavits, no? Ano kaya ang maaaring dahilan, no, o motibo ni Superintendent Padilla in mentioning your name, Colonel Leonardo? Ano kaya ang motibo niya?
Hindi ko po alam, Mr. Chair. Wala po akong...
How about you, Colonel Garma? Ano kaya ang motibo? Bakit binanggit ang pangalan nyo ni Colonel Padilla at saka ni Jimmy Fortaleza sa kanyang sinumpaang salaysay?
Parang nasagot ko po kay Representative Gutierrez po kanina.
Sige nga,
Well,
pakisagot mo nga ulit. Ano yung maaaring motibo?
sa tingin ko, Mr. Chair, during the first hearing, na-realize niya na siya ang most guilty. And then, he needs to find a way to escape from that. Feeling ko lang, tingin ko as I watch the first hearing, Mr. Chair. And it's easy to point na ako o si Sir because nga, na-mention ako ni Jimmy Fortaleza, Mr. Chair. And as to Jimmy Fortaleza, I can remember, during our visitation, humihingi siya ng tulong sa akin na makalabas siya. Presidential pardon or whatever. And I told him, I cannot do anything. Gawin mo lang papel mo, kumuha ka na abogado mo, and then isubmit mo. But I'm not the one who decides for that. Yan lang po sinabi ko. Humingi siya ng tulong sa akin, matulungan ko siya. Siguro dahil hindi ko siya natulungan, possible. And in fact, nung umalis pa nga kami, nagbigay pa nga kami ng pera sa kanya, tinulungan namin siya dahil naawa kami siya, nasa loob po siya. Nag-ambagan pa kami, 3 magka-classmate. We gave him money so he can survive inside. So I think yun po ang tingin ko lang po. No, I don't have evidence. I don't know how, anong takbo ng utak niya, what happened after. But for me, yan lang yung maisip kong bakit nakarating po kami sa ganitong sitwasyon, Mr. Chair.
So yun lang ang tingin nyong maring dahilan kung bakit nabanggit ni Colonel Padilla at ni Jimmy Fortaleza ang inyong pangalan sa kanilang salaysay.
For me, Mr. Chair, yun yung tingin ko po on my part, Mr. Chair.
Pwede bang matanong ko si Superintendent Padilla? Colonel Padilla, anong motibo? Bakit niyo po, meron ho ba kayong motibo kung ba't niyo nabanggit si Colonel Leonardo at saka si Colonel Garma dito sa inyong sinumpaang salaysay?
Wala po akong motibo, Your Honor. But I knew them through Jimmy Fortaleza.
So nakilala niyo sila, yung kanilang mga pangalan because of Jimmy Fortaleza.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, si Jimmy, narinig mo yung sagot ni Colonel Garma na maaaring ang motibo mo dahil ikaw daw ay humingi ng tulong at hindi kanya natulungan. Anong masasabi mo naman doon?
Your Honor, nung unang punta po nila dun sa Dapicol, actually wala pa kaming number ni Garma. Nagulat na lang ako, pumunta sila doon at binisita ko. Nung pagbisita niya, ang tinanong niya kung nasaan po ba yung mga yung mga Chinese. At sinabi ko sa kanya, nandyan sa foreigners quarter. Sabi ko, bakit Bok? Sabi niya sa akin, meron kasi kaming operation dyan.
Okay. Yun ang pagkakasabi sa'yo.
Opo.
Okay. Now, Mr. Chair,
Baka pwedeng sumingit na
Congressman,
lang.
sige, Congressman Fernandez.
With in the indulgence of the next interpellator. Kasi Colonel Padilla, I still remember the last time that the first time that we have invited you here, you have mentioned si Inspector Poro. Sinabi niya that kayo nag-order, but in your affidavit, sinabi mo that na out of loop ka na doon sa usapan. Di ba? Meron kasi binabanggit na ganito, di ba? Na hindi mo na nalaman. At sa matter of fact, andun ka sa quarters mo nung mangyari yung mga krimen, di ba?
Yes, Your Honor. It was happened Saturday and it was my rest day.
At ang binabanggit mo during that time, kasi nga, ang sinasabi namin yung command responsibility, di ba? Pero you were insisting, not executing pa yung second affidavit mo, you were insisting that it was indeed yung si guard commander, si Poro, ang siyang nag-order na ilipat yung dalawang PDL kasama nung 3 Chinese. Am I correct?
Yes, Your Honor. In fact, it was written in the blatter logbook by the ship
Yes, and
commander.
I got yung blatter report mo na nandito. Di ba? Kasi you submitted it to us, nung kinuha ko, At ang sinasabi mo na hindi mo na alam yung naging desisyon because apparently it took you so long para implement yung order nila. Am I correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
At in other words, parang sinasabi mo dito na itong si Inspector Poro acted on his own. Am I correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Can we invite Poro? Can you kindly sit down here? Ay, oo nga. Sorry, sir. Sorry, Chairman. Tapusin ko na po ito. Inspector Poro, kasi sinasabi mo during that time na si Colonel Padilla ang nag-utos sa'yo. Pero sa kanyang affidavit na sinumpaan ngayon, sinasabi niya na hindi niya na nalaman yung order kasi nga nainip na sila doon sa usapan na i-implement niya yung pagpatay doon sa 3. And according to him, ikaw ang nagdesisyon. Now, ngayon, ang tanong ko sa'yo, Inspector Poro, sino nag-utos sa'yo? Since hindi ka inutusan ni Colonel Padilla, sino ang nag-utos sa'yo para papasukin yung 2 PDLs kasama yung 3 Chinese nationals?
Si Superintendent Padilla po, Your
Paninindigan mo pa rin?
Honor. Opo.
Ha?
Opo, Your Honor.
Talagang ang sasabihin mo si Colonel Padilla pa rin?
Yes, opo, Your Honor.
Ha? So, meron kang written order coming from General Padilla?
Verbal order po, Your Honor.
What?
Verbal order po.
Ano na? Verbal?
Verbal order po, yes.
O how can you prove to us na yung verbal utos sa iyo? Paano mo papatunayan sa amin?
Ang totoo po yan, Your Honor, mayroong siyang inutusan na empleyado rin po.
Sino yung inutusan niya?
Si Officer Landro Hasim.
Okay.
Nung ginawa ko yung report ko, Your Honor, sa office, nung nadala na sa loob yung mga Chinese, dumating itong si Landro Hasim sa akin, sa opisina. Sabi niya, sir, mayroong instruction si Sir Jerry. Ipagsamin sa isang silda yung Chinese at saka yung 2 PDL natin. Dahil doon, tinawag ko ngayon yung ship commander, Mr. Villajos. Sabi ko sa kanya, ilagay mo sa isang silda yung 3 Chinese at saka yung 2 PDL natin, si Mudadaro at saka si Tan. Tapos doon, Your Honor, nung natapos ko na yung report ko, kasi nga Sabado man yun, hindi man hapon na, yung mga confiscated items na na-confiscate, dinala ko doon sa bahay ni Sir Jerry Padilla.
Okay, Inspector Poro, in the hierarchy of the decision making, pang-ilang ka?
Pangatlo po, pangatlo, Your Honor.
Pangatlo ka?
Opo.
Ang deputy si Quinto?
Opo.
Di ba?
Yes, Your Honor. Opo.
Ngayon, sinabi sa iyo ng taong yon,
yes, Your
di ba, na ilipat yung 2 doon sa Chinese.
Yes, Your Honor.
Bilang the 3rd highest ranking official doon sa colony. Bakit hindi mo sinabi kay Quinto? Ba't hindi mo siya kinausap?
Noong panahon na yun, Your Honor, on leave, dito sa...
Sino on leave?
NBP na yun si...
Sino on leave?
Sa NBP noon na may OB pala si si Quinto, si Pialis Quinto. Siya, naka-OB sa NBP, kaya wala siya. Noong panahon na yun, Your Honor.
Naman,
si Sir Jerry, doon sa bahay nila.
ba't hindi mo siya tinawagan?
Hindi, pagkatapos yun, Your Honor, ito, pagkatapos na bigyan ko ng instruction yung ship commander, mayroon instruction...
Tanong ko lang sa iyo, Poro,
Opo.
bakit hindi mo siya tinawagan? Since andun naman pala siya sa quarters, ba't hindi ka nag-report sa kanya?
Yung Honor, please.
Alam mo, Inspector Poro, mag-isip-isip ka muna, ha? Bago ka sumagot, ha? Kasi, Mr. Chairman, ako, tingin ko, itong taong to, may kinalaman. At dahil hindi na nga ma-implement, at ayaw nang implement ni Colonel Padilla, ayaw na implement ni Colonel Padilla, kaya nga niya pinatagal. Ito ang taong itong kinontak para mag-implement doon sa loob. So, mag-ingat-ingat ka, Inspector. Inspector Poro, no? Kasi, kapag hindi mo inayos yung mga sagot mo dito, sisiguraduhin namin sa susunod, maiiwan ka dito sa kongresong ito. Okay? Sige, Mr. Chairman, maraming salamat.
Thank you, Congressman Fernandez.
You want to speak?
Yes, Your Honor, pwede bang papaliwanag lang po?
Anong sasagutin mo?
Kasi nung una, di ba natapos ko na yung report ko, may instruction na dalhin ko sa bahay ni Sir Jerry yung mga confiscated items. Pagdating doon, Your Honor, tinanong niya ako nilagay mo ba sa isang selda yung mga PDL at saka yung...
Sino nagtanong sa'yo?
Si Sir Jerry.
Oh.
Tinanong niya ako.
Alam mo, kanina kausap mo yung isa na inutusan niya. Tapos ngayon sasabihin mo siya.
Paghatid
Alam mo,
ko po,
Mr. Chairman,
sir,
stop talking. No? I think this person, Mr. Chairman, is also lying. And I think this is the person that they contacted inside. Because pwede siya, he is the third highest ranking official. Makakarekta ka na Andun siya Ba't hindi mo nirekta? Ito ang missing link natin dito, Mr. Chairman. Itong si Inspector Poro. And ingatan mo pagsasagot mo dahil mamaya tatanungin ka pa namin ulit. Mr. Chairman, that's it muna for the meantime.
Thank you, Congressman Fernandez.